Hey, everybody. This is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. How are you doing this evening? How are you doing? How you doing? I wanted to come on tonight. I actually was trying to make a decision between, hey, D. Jones, so glad you can be here. I was trying to make a decision about whether or not to talk about the recent school shooting that actually happened today. But I'm still, like I said, I'm a school teacher. I'm triggered, but I'm also still trying to find out some more information about it to give you an actual proper report. But please check out Queen's Throne. I was watching the live news that she was streaming earlier. Also, Nappy Yankee is having a discussion about it too. An 18-year-old Mexican American young man, boy, went to an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, which is 85 miles west of San Antonio, which I would say it's probably 5 hours from Houston. DJ is just up the street from me when okay. Are you okay? Are you any of your kids or anything? Uh, okay. Teacher friends, are they all right? Hey, Clark, thank you so much. So definitely keep those children and their teacher, also the shooter's grandmother, he killed her as well, and also the children, because those who survived, they're gonna remember this. They're probably gonna have PTSD. They're gonna need therapy and things of that nature. The news is saying that this is the worst school shooting since 2018, which it was the Parkland shooting. 17 people were killed. So I would definitely keep you updated. I might come on tomorrow around lunch and give you a much more thorough update. I'm also coming on earlier because our governor has been addressing it. ATF and Border Patrol, and I guess him and the Texas Rangers were also down there too. He's been addressing the situation, and the president is actually going to address the nation today at 8:15 Eastern, which is basically 7:15 my time. So I also wanted to also I may end up uh I may end up just staying live and just streaming that from here. So but I was gonna come on tonight with this original idea. One of the followers, shout out to one of my followers who asked for a request 2 weeks ago, or was it a week ago? Maurice McClain was on. Yeah, it really is so sad and unbelievable. It's like, elementary school kids and their teacher and your grandmother. Yeah. So, but one of my followers asked about 2 weeks ago, Maurice McClain, who's pictured here on the thumbnail, he was on Safehouse Unmuzzled, which is a discussion led by Bishop Demetrius Sinegal. He was on there talking about his book, his reasons for his book, and he was reading letters from the book. There was one letter that he was about to read, but Bishop Sinegal said, "Hey, I think this was too triggering. Let's try another letter." And one of the followers said, "Hey, can you please finish the letter? Like, can you?" Because they wanted to hear more of the letter. So I was like, you know what? There probably are some other people who want to hear it as well. So just letting you know, I'm reading from Hey ACOJ Whaling Ministry. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hey Uakata. So glad you can be here. I'm actually going to be reading from his book. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the Amazon link in the chat so that you can purchase this book too. Okay. Hey, Erica. Okay, so this is Maurice's book. And just let me know if you want Maurice to come back on the show to talk about it. He said he just let him know, and he is willing to come back on. Okay. All right, I'm putting it in the chat. So, just letting you know, this book is called Divorce in a Cult. And I don't know if you also remember, he and Vita V grew up and were raised in Christ Apostolic Temple in Des Moines. Okay. And they recounted their experiences living in this cult under the late Jeremiah Reed. Right now, his son, Dwight Reed, is the new pastor who is also continuing on with, the church being a cult. He recently married in past November a 19-year-old member of his church, who it looks like allegedly she was forced to do so. And that is one of the cases that Safehouse Unmuzzled Advocacy Group is trying to get the authorities involved, because he was her dean of her church school, and is possibly was grooming. Okay, so let me actually go back to that video. And just as a refresher, let me go back. Let's go back. Safehouse Unmuzzled. Okay. Let me share audio. There you go. All right. Take the banner down. How are y'all doing tonight? Okay. So let's get. Okay. All right. I need to do another video about them too.
It does take a long time to remove this shit.
Hold on.
But what happened?
Wow, that's a saddening letter. I'm asking.
Okay.
Experience different.
Regulating you're having to do within your own self, as I'm sure, even when we briefly before, right before we got on, we chatted on Facebook just about, I'm sure, the nerves that are stirring inside of you, speaking in the space and sharing some of this. So we appreciate your vulnerability as well.
Thank you. I was brought to Calvary Church of God when I was 7 years old from the Church of God in Christ. The then elder was the pastor of my new.
Okay, I'm trying to get to
that iron homes and wearing fancy would not last the decade. Citizens by Father's church. Bishop got wind of this. This was the child he despised. Was how my dad came to the conclusion disappear on them. She's a minister there as well. Shelley Scott and Donald Lee has passed away.
I'm sick.
Mm-hmm. If you get the book,
that's a saddening letter. I'm asking.
I'm gonna say this: if you do get the book, which here is the link right here, the letters are in chapter 9. So these are like survivor letters. So these are other people who also told about their experiences within this church. Okay. So I just wanted to give you some feedback on
that.
Why someone asked.
Okay. This is another.
He's reading the letter and then he gets stopped by. Just letting you know, this is triggering. And so these are people talking about their experiences. Thank you so much, Dr. J. Kelly, for being here. Thank you, everyone who's here today. If I forgot to acknowledge you, please forgive me. Blame it on my head, not my heart. So this is what 2 weeks ago. Maurice is reading one of the letters. He just got to reading one of the letters. And this is another letter he was about to read, but the Bishop Sinegal stops him. Hold on.
A letter from a former member. I always knew that the environment I was raised in was
okay. It's not that one.
And never coming back. Exercise and put on.
Wow, one of the things that
okay, I think he read like 3 letters.
Pulpit to reproduce of the Spirit.
Apologies for
to
that.
ensure we don't.
And the head of Christ is gone. And
people are not speaking out because it also takes a long time. There's a lot of
peace and or turn a blind eye. And on one of the Sundays that he was at the teaching that
understandable, the damage is no longer here.
Use a person who is no longer present.
Bishop,
Some
you're
of
in the
those
matrix.
that they're able to move to deeper levels of the healing experience.
Okay, thank you, Bishop.
Okay.
So, to that.
Her and perhaps
that's Keisha. She's
message in the back channel.
A therapist, so she gives very good insight.
And there were great things.
Okay.
But that's on the
Young men.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't find the part, but I do know the one. I do know the article that the letter, excuse me, that and this is I'm going to put it in, you can go back and see. I just started out with that, but I also had it intended for this. So like about 7:15, I'm probably going to switch up and start talking about it too. That's why I said I'm going to probably redo my title and my thumbnail. But if you would wait patiently, I'll come back to that. Dr. Kelly. Hey, Christine Parks. Okay. It's a Safehouse Unmuzzled podcast. Not pocket, Clubhouse discussion. So you can go back to there. Okay, so like I said, this is I am reading from Divorcing the Cult by Maurice McClain. It's called Divorcing the Cult: Letters from Divorces Forgotten. And like I said, he was a member of Christ's Apostolic Temple. He wrote this book to let individuals know about his experience and also to allow others in chapter 9 to give their own survivor letter. And it's going to let you give you an introduction to the survivor, to the chapter 9 survivor letter. He has Matthew 18, 15, verses 15 and 16. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. Okay. So that's what he has at the beginning of chapter 9, survivor's letter. So this one is that, and by the way, these letters are signed not with their names. They usually have signed a survivor or a survivor with a family, signed a female survivor. Some of them are former members, former people who were in the church, council members. Some of them are like Dear Diary. Some were like former assistant pastors. So the one that I'm reading right now is It's called Dear Bishop 3X. And in parentheses, it says his past street name. So I guess before he got saved. And it's signed a survivor still broken. Okay. So I'm just letting y'all know, I'm setting you up like, hey, this is going to be triggering. You're like, oh, I thought these people was in charge. This is a person who has been abused and they are voicing their pain. And maybe they tried to tell this person what happened to them. Maybe they tried to tell others. But this is the video does Maurice doesn't give, hey, oh dear, Maurice doesn't give a good explanation of why he told the survivors, like, hey, I want you to write a letter to the person that abused you. And it was basically a way of therapy so that they can get rid of all this energy, everything that was built up. Because for a lot of them, they were silenced and they were not heard, or they were just told to be quiet. And so this is also a part of them, like I said, part of therapy, also part of them letting go. So just letting y'all know, y'all be like, oh, why is she saying it? This is the person's letter I am reading. Okay. All right. Dear Bishop 3X, I am so glad you are dead, you sick piece of shit. I hate you. You destroyed my marriage and my family. You said that I had demons and went through torture. I was isolated, became depressed and suicidal. I don't even know how I am here today, but I am thankful. Still, fuck you. You did not preach the word. You were not instant in season or out. You put my family in hell because they were not saved. I came to church for help, and when left, I felt worse. You did not preach, but held a mafia meeting of whoever was against you, which led us to want to hurt and harm others. I am so disgusted that I used to participate and be just hateful as you. I would amen to your bullshit. I would have fought and killed for you because that is how you conditioned us. I have given my last dollar to your ministry because you said the church was behind every single month. I watched people that did not have the means to survive give and give, only to receive nothing but ungratefulness in return. If we could not give more, you would put us on blast to the point you pinned our names to the bulletin board of who was behind or not paying tithes and offering. You would have us members and children bring you cash to your hands so it was not traceable by the IRS, because you were allowed up to $12,000 before being taxed. I watched you put members out because they could not give. Then call them back when you knew they could give in manipulation. After leaving all the rumors heard about you, I now believe to be true because what I have seen and proven to be true. They have said you've been sacrificing babies for years, and yes, you are. Shame on you for allowing these young men and women to get married under your orders and influence. How dare you call the single women to the pulpit to how dare you call the single women to the pulpit to pick their wives, and if not married, they would burn. How dare you marry children to grown men? You should be burning in the eternal hell that you put others in. You are no man of God. I am so ashamed to have ever been involved. My God, have mercy on my soul. Signed, a survivor still broken. This is on chapter 9, Survivor Letters, pages 54 to 55. So I'm just, whoo, Lord, oh my goodness. Hey, oh dear, do you want to come up and comment about that? Or no? Or yeah, that was and this is like when you saw how it started, and so when Bishop Sinegal was like, he was like, Maurice, can you read another letter? And so someone in the comment video, they're like, I want to hear the rest of that letter. And I said, oh, it's the letter Is it still gonna tell him to start reading? Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I have to do that, especially in grad school. They're always telling us like you need to cite your sources, where do you get the information from. That's why I have a problem with Umar Johnson. He puts out all this stuff, says all these things, he never gives. Okay, you said give you 10 minutes. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes. Okay. All right. So we're gonna give. Oh Lord, that was. Oh, you're on your way home. Okay. All right. So so let me switch up a bit, okay? And since we are gonna wait on oh dear to get home in 10 minutes, let's go over the Texas shooting, okay? Dr. Kelly, you still with me? You still with me, Dr. Kelly? I should put a big Texas behind me. Okay. All right. So let's go. Let me share the screen. Hold on. And go. Queen's Throne. We're gonna go to Queen's Throne. I was watching her earlier. Oh, she's still on. Okay, great. Okay, but I don't want to be on when she's on. Okay, let me go to article. Okay, so let me go to the latest school shooting as of. Okay, we got 4 hours ago, 27 minutes ago, 19 minutes ago. All right, let's do the one that was 8 minutes ago. All right. All right. So just giving you a little bit of backstory. Okay. I think I have the New York Times though. Not, I know I got the Huge Post. Okay. So let me put this down here so y'all can see this better. Let me put the whole screen. Okay. So Uvalde, Texas, just letting y'all know, Uvalde, Texas is located 85 miles, which is like an hour and a half west of San Antonio. San Antonio is like 3 hours west of Houston. So basically Uvalde is like 4.5 hours to 5 hours from Houston, going westward. It's a very small city. And it's so small that the high school is next door to the elementary school. The elementary school in this particular was Robb Elementary. There was a shooting there today at 12 noon, Central Standard Time. A young man, I don't know if I should call him a young man or a boy. Make sure I get this correct. Okay. All right. His name, sorry. Okay, sorry, please I'll make sure I get this information to you correctly. Okay, they're not really, that one's not really doing, because at first they did not have his name, but now they do. His name is Salvador Ramos. Okay. Today he went to Robb Elementary and he got into the school somehow. Yeah, I understand, D. Jones. And he got into the school. This is around noon today. And he shot 14, I think it was 13 children, but now they've updated it. 18 children and 3 adults were killed before he was killed by police officers. Okay? All right? Earlier doing when Governor Abbott. Okay, remind me later, D Jones, or email me, okay? Can one of the mods put my email address in the chat, please? Okay. So, it says Abbott told a news conference. What's it not showing? Says Governor Abbott of Texas told a news conference after the shooting that 14 school children had been slain along with 1 teacher. But Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez later told CNN, citing the Texas Ranger State Police as his source, the death toll had climbed to 18 children and 3 adults. The shooting unfolded just 10 days after 10 people were killed in Buffalo, New York, in a predominantly black neighborhood. An 18-year-old man who authorities said opened fire with an assault rifle in Buffalo had been charged. The motive for Tuesday's massacre in Texas, the latest in a string of seemingly random mass shootings that have become commonplace in the United States, was not immediately known. Official details remain sketchy about the circumstances of the late morning shooting. That was 12 noon at Robb Elementary in the town of Uvalde, Texas, about 80 miles west of San Antonio. Oh, I'm so sorry about this, Z Jones, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. All right? We're going to pray for him. We're going to pray for you. Pray for all the kids there. Abbott said the suspect was believed to have abandoned his vehicle and entered the school armed with a handgun and possibly a rifle before opening fire. Investigators believe Ramos shot and killed his grandmother before going to the school. It is being reported that the suspect shot his grandmother right before he went into the school. I have no further information about the connection between those 2 shootings. University Hospital in San Antonio said on Twitter it had received 2 patients from Uvalde from the shooting in Uvalde, a 66-year-old woman and a 10-year-old girl, both listed in critical conditions. Okay. U.S. President Joe Biden, who ordered flags flown at half-staff until sunset daily until May 28 in observance of the tragedy, plans to address the nation about the shooting at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. The White House said the student body of the school consists of children in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades, according to Pete Arredondo, chief of the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Police Department, who also addressed reporters. In American schools, those grades are typically made of children ranging from 7 to 10 years of age. Jesus be offense. I'm going to just need to... Oh, the 3 adults include the shooter, his grandmother. Thank you, Erica. Holmes Erica. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. 7 to 10 years old. Okay. Reporting by Marco Bello in Uvalde, Texas. Writing and additional reporting by Steve Gorman in Los Angeles. Okay. And this is what I'm reading from Reuters. Oh, Jesus, be offense. And this is what's not only the ages of this is what's really getting to me. It's the fact that this was his community. He lived in this community. This was people who looked like him. Uvalde is about over 90% Mexican American. Most of the kids who attended that school were Mexican American. You shot your grandmother. They haven't released the ethnicity of the teacher because there are some teachers who are white who do teach in predominantly, Mexican Americans or even black schools, but still, you, and the thing is, I don't want to say, oh, this person had a mental illness, but this person could have had one. But then at the same time, I'm trying to think, and this is something Mad Church Disease said. He said, let me see your transcript. You need to make it plain that other people know that this shooter went to a school and shot little kids. Their parents dropped them off in the morning, expecting to pick them up later in the day. And they're going to be about 18 parents who are going to have to identify their child. And the thing is, this is like 10 days ago or a week ago. We're looking at Buffalo. A man came to African American community to a place that was supposed to be safe, but also a place where a lot of either elderly or young people or family members went to go grocery shopping. And they didn't get to go home. And then the same thing is happening today. It's like, these are our vulnerable populations. And the same thing would happen in California with the man, Chinese man went to the Taiwanese church and started shooting in a church. It was like, it could have been Charleston again. They were actually able to overtake that man. Someone hit him from behind when he was doing something with the gun, and they were able to hog tie him. That man was 68 years old. A 68-year-old mass shooter. That man is probably technically the oldest mass shooter in history. 68 years old. I'm just trying to, y'all pray. And then I'm also wondering, like, how did he get into the door? Because I know places here in Houston, you gotta, even the elementary schools, you gotta go through some doors, get buzzed in. There's usually a security guard, most likely a school district policeman on campus. I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah, hold on, y'all. I'm just trying to understand this. Just and this is the thing, like 2 weeks ago, I had to do a secure lockdown drill at my school because there was a shooting in the area and the police were looking for the person and they were scared that they were just going to come to the school. You know, the parents are outside. Some of them were picking up their kids. Yeah, high school students get picked up from school too. They basically said when we were on a secure lockdown, nobody could leave. And their parents outside could not pick up their child yet until they had the all clear. So I'm still trying to figure out. Yeah, it says 18 children and a teacher are killed in a Texas elementary school shooting. A gunman opened fire at an elementary school in Uvalde on Tuesday. This is Tuesday, y'all. It was one of the deadliest shootings in an American elementary school since the attack at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newton, Connecticut in 2012. The state police with the death toll on Tuesday evening on that 4 more children were among the dead. Jesus fix it. The dead also included 1 teacher. So these are the McConnell says he's horrified and heartbroken, but gives no indication he is dropping opposition to new gun laws. Republicans are always saying thoughts and prayers, and they're upset and everything, but the only person I ever saw change their stance on guns was Kathy. Is her name Kathy Gibbard? And that was after she became a victim of gun violence. Because a guy came to one of her, I think, things and shot up the place, and she got hit in the head. McConnell has controlled the Senate for 6 years. 2021 has been instrumental in blocking Democratic efforts to enact gun safety measures that regularly reflects a deep hostility in his party to virtually any proposal that seeks to limit access to firearms. Well, I want to know, how did he get the firearm? And and they said they think he had a rifle. Well, did he have a rifle? Did he not have a rifle? The superintendent in Vita said in a brief news conference that the school year is done and that all activities will be canceled throughout the school district. Last day of school was supposed to be Thursday. What about graduation? And I do think classes, only thing is like you got finals and stuff, but definitely after school stuff should be canceled. And gunman died at the scene. And hearts are deep and broken. Officer enough. We had to have the caretaker stand next between what is makes reasonable, sensible public policy. 2 adults who were injured were taken from Valley to Brooke Army Hospital. They were in critical condition. Okay. The gun deaths in the United States reached the highest number recorded in 2020, the first year of the pandemic. Heck, all the kids was at home. There was no school shootings that year. No, yeah. Or 2021, I don't think there was no, 2021, there were no school shootings. For the first time ever in 20 years. So the kids was at home. George Santizo moved from Austin to Uvalde about a year ago to open an auto body shop. He said that Uvalde is so small that even though he recently moved here, he recalls seeing the gunmen around town. In this town, everybody knows everybody. Okay, so George, somebody talk to George. The 18-year-old gunman whose authorities said killed 14 students has been done Salvador Ramos. This guy says, if all you do is focus on controlling weapons, people like this will find other ways to harm people. Only in this country are parents not sure that their children will be safe at school. Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers. Our public school should be one of the safest places for students and educators. It should be, but it's not. Our churches should be. The supermarket should be. Yeah, it's not far from the border, but it's also 5 hours away from. Uvalde is a small working class city, about 80 miles west of San Antonio, about midway between that city and the border with Mexico. Yeah. The city of about 15,200 people is in a region with a large Mexican-American population. Many of us were born in the U.S. or have lived in the region for decades. Someone said in a phone interview that 16 people, including 11 children, were brought to the site of the shooting. 2 of those children, a boy and a girl, were dead on arrival. 4 of the injured children were later released, and 5 children and 1 adult were transferred to a San Antonio hospital. You're probably looking at 8, 9, 10-year-olds. This Texas school shooting is the deadliest at an elementary school since Newton. And in that case, that guy, he killed his mama. I thought his mama worked at the school. Did he kill his mama before he went there, or when she was at the school? Because he went to the school, he started shooting people there too. Newton was 10 years ago? Damn. It says the high school tweets a photo of President Biden talking to Governor Greg Abbott for one in a tweet. The president wrote, President Biden just spoke with Governor Abbott to offer any and all assistance he needs in the horrific shooting in Uvalde. Now, I did see that they said ATF and the Border Patrol were on the scene. This was around 4 to offer aid to, the community, which I understand it's a small town, but at the same time, I live in Texas, and I am okay. Thanks, Holmes, Erica. Yeah, they probably didn't need security. Thanks, Uwakata. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, the governor, we're a red state, and I'm just like, he's all about border security. So I'm just like, and I understand Border Patrol is part of the, also the, federal government. So maybe Biden called, Greg Abbott, like, hey, what offer and assistance you want? And he was like, okay, send some people out here to help this. And so he was like, the nearest people were, the Border Patrol and the ATF, right? Because it's also a mass shooting. ATF deals with alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you're going to send people who literally are trying to prevent people who look like the people in the town from getting here? These are y'all first responders? Like, nobody from San Antonio PD or none of the other counties or something? They had no equipment. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. Y'all got that kind of quick, I will say for Hot Wheels, he did address the nation, he addressed the state. He seemed to be caring. He seemed to be trying to do his job. I just had a problem with, like, okay, I know you couldn't call them too, but I'm surprised that he showed up. He probably was welcoming them, and I was like, "Where the federal?" My thing is also he's the chief executive of the state. Where the Texas Rangers at? They're a state agency. Did none of the other counties or cities nearby, they couldn't get there fast enough? Like, I have questions. Because I feel like about Border Patrol is like the police. I feel like with Border Patrol and ICE, they're like how Black people view the police for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just concerned. Oh, okay. That's what it is? Okay. Yeah. So definitely keep the town of Uvalde, these parents, these kids probably have brothers and sisters, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa. I saw one guy, he was a young guy, he looked like he was in his 30s, and he just was like, I just want to go get my kids. And so what they did, let me show y'all what they did. This is Robb Elementary School. And this is what they do for a lot of schools. There, when there's a shooting or there's an emergency. Where is Robb Elementary School? Okay. Where's Robb Elementary School? Robb Elementary School. Okay. Okay. All right. Y'all see this? Okay. All right. So they have this on the page of the school. Also, the parents will get sent a text with this on there as well, or a phone call, robocall, and it says, Robb Elementary parents, please do not pick up students at this time. Students need to be accounted for before they are released to your care. You will be notified to pick up students once all are accounted for. Reunification site for Robb students. Robb Elementary students are being transported to the Civic Center for reunification. The Civic Center will be under a secure status until all students are accounted for. Parents, please do not pick up students at this time. You'll be notified to pick up students once all are accounted for. Okay, so parents will get this. Now, if this was a high school, a lot of those kids will have cell phones and they can just text their parents. You know, like, or even middle school. Hey, mom, I'm in Miss So and So's class. I'm safe. You know, I'm in. You know, oh, we're gonna be over here. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, with little kids, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. Oh, Jesus be offense. Jesus be offense. Oh, they got a cute little mascot. Oh, they the wolves. The Uvalde Wolves. Oh, they do got a police department. CISD Police Department. What they doing over there? They should have had a police on campus. But then again, maybe that was the police that shot the shooter. Okay, everybody on here, you know, Latino, Mexican American. Okay. For the threat report bullying. All right. But I kind of want to know what the school like. How do you, hold on. Let me go in here. Good. You see safe. Sure. Okay. Standard response protocol. Standard communication method parent handout. SRM reconnection card. SRP classroom poster. SPRP handout. So they got procedures and stuff. But I want to know what does the school have to do? Are y'all watching this with me? I'm just, because with schools we have to do things like risk management, safe environment. Even in college, gotta do safe environment. Please hit the like button. Okay, this is get preventative measures. Okay, so all right. Police officers. District employs 4 officers. This includes a chief, a detective, and 2 officers. Really? Partnerships with local law enforcement. Local law enforcement agents are invited to come to Interact campus while they are on patrol. CISD provides free breakfast lunch to any law enforcement personnel visiting our campus. Okay. Secondary campuses have staff who patrol door entrances, parking lots, and perimeters of the campus. Okay. The partnership with nonprofit catering serve to support students and fans at CISD campuses. Okay. So they got live professional counsel. Oh, they got a threat assessment team. Every campus employs an interdisciplinary team trained professionals that convene to identify, evaluate, classify, and address threats or potential threats to school security. Following assessment, this team determines appropriate response and intervention. This includes notification and involvement of parents, a suicide risk assessment, and the development of a written safety plan. Okay, social media threats. Raptor Technologies. Okay, this means like when they go into a school, you got your ID, you scan it. It'll scan whether or not you can be in the building or not. So wait, if they had that, how did he get in the building? The Raptor visited management school, but he probably had the gun, so I don't know. Alert staff of custody violations in district. The reporting for all being. Interquest detection canine services. Okay. Motion detection and alarm system. Most campuses, not all campuses, most campuses have motion detectors and alarms installed that alert key personnel and emergency responders when the campus has been breached after hours. Okay, that's after hours. But perimeter filtering. Okay, look at this, y'all. Dalton, Athen, and Robb have fencing that encloses the campus is designed to limit and or restrict access to individuals without a need to be on the campus. Okay, so how did he get? So there's only one way to get in there then. Okay, security vestibules are outdoor door buzz-in systems. Uvalde has high school utilize a security vestibule outdoor door buzzing system. Hampton Elementary utilizes the security vestibule to direct visitor into the office. So, did he know that he could not get into the building, y'all? Hey, TKM Media. So does this mean y'all that he knew automatically because he was a high school student that he would have had to get buzzed into Uvalde and they wouldn't let him in so he can go in there shooting people, but he could go to Robb Elementary and he could? Security camera, approximately 100 cameras are in place at Uvalde High School and 24 at Morales Junior High. Radios. Key staff have been provided radios to support campus communication processes. Portable metal detectors. Locked classroom door plugs. Okay. Staff training. Yeah. Key hands on CPI training. So we're to call off the campus, student training and drills. Students were trained in the Center Rescue Standard Response Protocol for lockdown, evaluation, shelter, and hold. We do too in Houston. In addition, drills are held for each of these emergencies on a regular basis. Students are also receive strategies on bullying prevention. So did this school go through all of this? And is this why they only had 18? Or were there some missteps and it shouldn't have been 18? It should have been none. Because how did this guy get in? Bullying report system, threat reporting system, students, parents, communities are encouraged to report SID. Troubling so they may take appropriate action. This includes enrichment weapons, threats, spice, drugs, self-harm, suicide, that are concerning. Enforcement may lie at you. Okay, did anybody ever report this Salvador Ramos? Okay, I got some questions, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Y'all can read it for yourself. This is Uvalde, CISD, Preventative Security measures. Okay. Thanks for coming, TMK Media. Yeah, I'm just, Jesus be offense. I have so many other questions now. I know that staff is going to have to have some questions about what happened today. Did he say I have 4 officers? Because literally in Houston, there's a police officer like at that's usually assigned to every campus. Especially big campuses, but this is a small community, so And they said he was living with his grandmother. Why was he living with his grandmother, not his mother or dad? I have so many questions, y'all. I will probably definitely be giving y'all updates on this. Okay. All right. Let me send Vita V. I think our Vita V is home. Let me send this to her. Okay. Anybody got any questions in the chat before we go to our next topic? That we talked about earlier after I read the letter. Oh, I just sent you a link. B2B. Just sent you the link. You got it? I sent it through Messenger. Please like, share, subscribe. Are you coming up? It might be a lag. B2B. Oh, here she go. Hey, girl.
Hey, y'all gotta excuse the background noise because I'm at my sister's house, so there's a lot of background noise. So I went outside, but there's a lot of activity going on outside her house. So if y'all hear background noise, forgive that part. But do you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Can y'all hear okay?
Okay, so I am here to just kind of identify first off by saying that I am only here to verify what I know of what is to be true. I did not write the letter. It's that particular letter. I am just a member, an ex-member that was at that particular church and in that organization for 32 years, from birth until 32 years of age. I am 36 now, so this was not that long ago, and that I can verify because I did sit under the father, which is the Jeremiah Reed. I did, which is what a lot of the letters that's in the book is referring to. I am not angry. I just talk with a lot of passion. I am not angry anymore. Hurt, frustrated, but not angry. I just want folks to get some type of healing. I can verify that people, children, teenagers from the ages of 15 is the youngest that I do know of that I can verify were getting married at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We're getting married. We were basically being picked. The girls were getting picked off the pulpit like cattle by the boys or men as wives. And we were not allowed to, court longer than 3 to 6 months. 6 months is the longest you could court, quote unquote, court each other. You were not allowed to be engaged longer than that because it was a belief that eventually you were going to have sex, and if it's better to marry than to burn. If you had been here prior to any of the older panels, you would have heard, one of the older members say, that line, it's better to marry than to burn. That was instilled in us that, before you go out there and have sex, you were going to go to hell if you were out here having sex, fornication, or premarital sex. And if you wanted to make it to heaven, you were going to get married before you had sex, or you were going to be ruined or messed up, and no one's going to want you, and you were going to be on your way to heaven.
Wow.
It is also instilled in us from times we are little and times we were born. And if you were born into this organization or this church, that holiness is right. And for you to make it to heaven, you had to be holy. There was rules and regulations you had to abide by. God was not a previous God. You cannot do anything out of the bylaws of the Bible or out of the bylaws of the church. And to understand manipulation, we were spiritually messed up. And the reason why in this particular letter that the person called him Triple X is because that was his street name. And that is what he told us his street name was. And he often told stories of his street life before he said he entered the church. And that is what they called him. They called him Triple X. And that is his name, the story that he told us they called him. So that is why in the letter, the person, gentleman or female, said that, Dear Triple X. That is why the letter started off like that. So if anybody wants to know why he started off like that, that is why.
Can you tell us if Triple X was the pastor, former or current?
It is the former pastor. It is the father
late
of
Jeremiah.
Dwight.
Hold on.
Yes.
The late Jeremiah Reed?
Yes, the late Jeremiah Reed was the father of Dwight.
Her street name was Bishop 3X?
Yes, it was his street, and it was 3X was his street name. And the reason why the person titled the letter that is because basically he acted like he was still on the street. Bishop 3X was, or Pastor 3X was, because he still had that mentality of being street as he did in the street. He acted that way in the church. He ran the church and ran the organization with an iron fist, and you could not go against him at all. Like, when I mean, I know so many people don't understand how someone could have so much hold on so many people, but you kind of have to think of it like, how did Jim Jones have so many holds on so many people?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to mix, he had a thing, like, I can't even kind of explain to you. It's charisma. It's with your mouth. It's what you say. You can mix truth and Bible together. And he had a thing with his mouth. He could talk, honey, he can talk sugar out of cake. That's how good he was. He mixed the same thing with Dwight. He mixes, his stuff with the Bible and can mix it well. He was very skilled at doing it. And he was very manipulative. He like, nobody gets folks into the church by coming off as mean when you first meet them. Like, you have to know who you are and kind of know the word before you kind of go into there, because he'll pull you in with being nice and each street. When you real good deep in the streets and you know how to manipulate and get your way and know how to pull in folks. And most of the folks that went to that church had issues, had street issues, had mommy issues, daddy issues, had drugs in their past life issues, had issues with, family. No one loved them. It was some type of damage already prior done to them in their lives to make them kind of cleave to that. After a while, a lot of the adults were calling him dad, and the kids were calling him Papa. That wasn't our granddad. That wasn't
what I learned about the other day? This makes me realize this church was a cult. Have you ever heard of the Nuwapians?
No, I haven't.
Okay, they're kind of like a Black consciousness cult, and first they were an offshoot, using Islam, and then I think they became Christian, and then he always their leader is called Dr. Malachi Z. York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? He had the members calling him father or daddy. Wait, where did she go? Okay. All right, you back? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I muted myself and hit the wrong key. I so apologize for that. I'm sorry, guys. I hear you. Keep going.
Oh, I was saying his name is Dr. Malachi Z. York, and he had a cult since like I think maybe like late 1960s, early 1970s. He's in prison now, but he had his members calling him father or daddy. And that's
Yeah,
like really,
it like
yeah.
that. It really was what it was. It's not like a lot of the stories that are presented into this book are true. Like a lot of things were suppressed, and it was a hold he had over the city. That's why you got like people were threatened, not to say people were told they would not be believed because they're not going to believe you because this is a black it's a black thing. He's a black guy. Nobody's going to believe that this older black guy had this hold. But if you go into the city, they will tell you we were very cultish. We didn't see it because we were in it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see the fact that we held him to a esteem so high it went above God. We if God said, "Do not murder, do not threaten, do not steal, do not lie for nobody," we did it anyway. He said, "Go out and set a building on fire." And God said, "Don't do it." We would bypass what God said and go set that building on fire. If He said, "Go do it,"
Oh
we
my.
literally would. We would fight you to the death. We would die for that church, and He knew it. He knew it, and we would fight you about it with our skirts on. We would fight you with our skirts on. We weren't allowed to go in certain places. It was just the rules and regulations of the matter. And, we were told, oh, you have a choice, but we didn't have a choice. It wasn't one of them things where you had a choice like that. It just was not. People literally were willing to sign over their children, as you can tell from the situation now with Jordan and Dwight. You can tell now, as you can see, we
Mhm.
would sign over your children if need be, if that's what we were told to do. Hence why we have a situation now with Jordan where people are very content with what's going on because that's what our minds were conditioned to be. If the man of God said it, you were to do it. It has got to go with the me. We will lie to protect that church. It isn't so much the white they're protecting, it's the church that they're trying to protect the father's name. Not Dwight. They really don't really care for Dwight. Dwight can go and be gone. They could care less about that of him because of his situation he had with his dad because that relationship itself was always volatile. So that's for a whole new subject because that's a whole story for later. But
Mm.
it's the name of the father they're trying to protect because he held that church for over 40 years.
Oh
And
wow.
there's so much mess that goes behind that. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to protect the church and the grandfather and his dad's name. I say grandfather, but his dad's name because he
Mm-hmm.
held that church for over 45 years. Now they're saying he had dementia since 95. We don't know if that's true.
Wait,
Only
since
the
95 or since
Yeah, they're saying now, according
so
to
for
what
20 years? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to hold on. I'm sorry.
hmm yeah,
So
this is what
when
the
did the
family said.
late pastor die?
He died in 2018.
So for 23 years he had dementia.
This was not known to the church. This was made known to us, to the people
No, what
in
I'm
the
trying to
last
say
clubhouse.
is I've never heard of someone having dementia for 23 years.
Yes, literally. I've never heard that either, but
My
I
aunt
we were just
has
made this be
dementia, I
known.
would say the last 3 years of her life. Like
Yeah,
she slowly was getting worse. So for 23 years, this man had dementia and nobody. Okay. Okay, now.
yeah. We didn't like to be honest. I don't know how true that statement is because did nobody know this but the quote unquote family? Did nobody know this? We all just found this out during the last clubhouse, and one of the family members jumped in the comments and said, "Well, he had dementia since '95. So y'all let this go on since '95, and no one stepped in and stopped him."
Right.
We didn't know. Somebody in clubhouse jumped in and said it. And nobody of the church knew. Didn't nobody say nothing. We didn't know. Like, honest to God, if anybody out there knew this and did not say nothing, I hate to tell you this, but you're kind of responsible for this situation. I'm on live. Hey, baby, I'm on live. Love you. Um, did nobody say anything about this until Clubhouse? And we didn't know until this book came out and it came on Clubhouse. We didn't know. So if any of y'all guys are out there listening, we didn't know. And I would appreciate if someone had told us or let us know instead of letting this man run amok for all these years and destroy all these lives.
Mm-hmm.
And no one said a word because so many people were done wrong and people's lives spiritually, mentally, emotionally are messed up, including mine and my family. So I don't know if y'all are responsible too at this point because y'all knew and no one said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Do we hold you guys responsible also because that's flagging yourselves also?
Mm.
I'm just going to throw that out there. So if you guys hear this, because I know this is going on repeat and people watch this, y'all are going to be upset with me when I say this because y'all know me. Are y'all responsible as well for the lives that were messed up and the destruction that was caused? Because some folks were sexually assaulted, that part.
Mm.
Some folks were physically assaulted, that part. What happens to who do we hold responsible for that? Like, I understand an apology, but then are we apology too late? How do people go on if people keep not holding people responsible for the atrocities that were done to folks? I'm just saying, I'm gonna throw that out there for them. I'm not blaming nobody. Hey, baby, it is what it is. But at this point, really, since '95, hello. Now I get it. The last couple of years of his life, I see the dementia, but I'm just not believing no one had dementia in '95 when you can quote stories verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean verbatim down. I mean verbatim. I mean verbatim down to where you was at when you took the car, when you was driving it, and you can tell people's personal business. Like stuff Dwight is doing, all this stuff is rehashed from his dad, y'all. But his dad was worse. This is just a rehash. Besides the marrying of the baby. Other than that, this stuff is rehashed. Them sermons is rehashed, but
Like the
he
one
just
from
toned
2
it
years
down.
ago, you said that one. Someone was saying that was rehashed.
Yeah, they're all rehashed. All these sermons are rehashed. These didn't come from God. These came from rehashed sermons. I'm telling you what I know. These are rehashed sermons from his dad. Like I've heard these sermons before. They're rehashed.
Okay.
Like this didn't come from God. God didn't place this in nobody's heart. He didn't go and study this in nobody's Bible. God didn't give this to him. These are rehashed sermons. I know everybody wants to paint the picture that, one is holy, one is righteous, but no, 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 no. Things were happening that should not have happened, and people's lives were inevitably destroyed and positive. People are scarred so bad they won't walk in a church. They won't touch a church. Some have you just stop believing in God altogether.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad it has been
Yeah.
done.
Someone said in
Spiritual,
the comments that they hadn't been in a church. I think it was 10 years. They hadn't been in one.
yes, and like I said, I have bypassed the part of being angry. I thought until I heard Kaikira's um, I heard her
Oh
tell
my
her
goodness,
story,
Kakira's account of what happened to her.
and it
I
stirred
just,
up some things that
oh,
I had gone through, and I could relate with from her story. And I thought I wasn't angry. I'm not really not angry. It's more of a hurt to it because I had sexual assault done to me. So, and I had physical assault done to me. And then when I took it to the church, thinking that the church was supposed to have helped me, the church I was born into, raised into, the people I thought were supposed to have loved me and supposed to protect me, it was like, don't tell no one. Oh, we'll just tell them to leave you alone for just tonight. But what about tomorrow night? What about the night after that? And then I was portrayed that I was just mean and hateful, and people wonder where I was fighting because I couldn't sit down. That's why I was fighting people growing up, because I couldn't sit down. Not because I didn't want to, because I couldn't.
You just couldn't sit down because you were.
You know, things like this happen in the church, and people often ignore it because it's the black church, and people don't. It doesn't get the full, you know, looking into, because it's the black church and it's not the white church. Like Hillsong gets the, like, place like Hillsong, because unfortunately it's the white church, and people blow that up. They don't question it. They just take the victims like, oh, okay. But when it comes to the black church and coming to black victims, we get questioned, and we get, oh my God, that happened to you? Why are you just getting leave? It's not easy when you've been born and conditioned and raised, and your mind has been split. Like, I literally can quote Acts 2:38 like the back of my hand, because it's conditioned. You're conditioned like that, and literally that is literally, you're trained, and your mind is gifted like that, and they got control of your finances. And I literally, families were broken up. People were told to divorce their spouses
What?
because they differ from the teachings, or they went against what the preacher said. No, I
I'm
don't
gonna,
believe in that.
I'm gonna tell
Divorce
you.
your spouse.
You ever saw The Way Down? About that Amber, is it Amber Tamblyn, Laura Colt, The Way Down? It's on
I didn't see. I
HBO.
heard something about it, but I didn't see all of it.
Okay, so I saw part 1, or I guess season 1 of it, and there's a man in there who said the lady, like, it was a cult, and she said he blames the lady for his divorce of his wife. He was married to his wife for like decades, 20, 30, almost 30 years. And his wife was always doing what because she was a pastor, what she wanted to do. So when she had a new hairstyle, his wife had a new hairstyle. When she had new clothes, his wife had new clothes. When she got a new car, he got a new car. Well, guess what? She got married to another man. So guess what? He got a divorce, and then his wife married somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, wow.
And it's really like that. Like, when, I mean, a lot of times, I put it like this. A lot of times growing up, he would talk out of two sides of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're supposed to respect your wife. You're supposed to love your wife. You're supposed to, you're not supposed to, hit your wife, or do things like that. But on the flip side of that, it would be, you wives need to be obedient, and don't be doing this, and you need to go to bed, no clothes on, and your man ain't seen you naked, and your husband ain't seen you naked, and you smile on somebody else's face, but your husband ain't seen your teeth, or ain't seen your drawers, and this and this and this, and how long? Like, two sides of the story. Like, it'd be so contradictory. Just like the white does. He's very contradictory. Like, he'll say two, as you notice, he'll say one thing and then turn around and he'll be very contradictory in what he says. It's very much the same style of teaching. It's truth, but then it's his own stuff mixed in there with it. Like, it's very contradictory. Like again, like I say, I've seen marriages that have people been married 15 years, and it'll get broken up just in a span of a Bible class. It'll be gone. You'll go and tell, thinking your personal business with your husband or your wife, because y'all having marital issues, and you're thinking you're going there for some type of counseling or some guidance so y'all can have y'all relationship stronger. And eventually he stopped doing the marital classes, like office. It'll be just taught over the pulpit. He'll just tell you business over the pulpit, and that was how y'all got y'all marital help. It ain't no marital office classes no more. It's over the pulpit. That was how y'all got y'all marital help, right there in front of everybody. I know so many people's personal business that I should not know over the pulpit that it's not funny. People's personal, financial, mental business, I should not know. I should not know a person's got herpes and trying to marry somebody else. I should not know that over the pulpit. I should not know that such and such gave such his wife herpes. That's not my business. If y'all married, that's not my business. If you cheated on your wife and you gave your wife herpes or gonorrhea,
wait a minute now.
stuff that comes over the pulpit.
So what?
Like I said, it's a trend from what happened with his dad. All this stuff that the white doing, all this stuff comes from the dad. That's how everybody is very comfortable with sitting there and shaking their head and agreeing with it and sitting there and like, oh, okay, really? It's a gossiping session. It's not becoming. And even in the Bible said you shouldn't be busybody in other people's matters. Even the Bible tells you shouldn't be gossiping and stuff. But it's no different than you gossiping. You're just doing it over the pulpit and saying, well, God told me or Jesus told me, or the Lord told me to tell you. Who didn't tell the whole congregation, tell 100 plus people that such and such gave his wife herpes? Nobody told you to say that. That's not nobody's business. How is that going to edify the body? How is outing someone's sexual preference edifying the body? That's not in there. I'm still looking at from Genesis to Revelations. I still can't find it. But I'm gonna keep looking because it ain't in there. But I'm gonna keep looking because people are apt to say that. But I'm not in no way attacking the apostolic faith. I'm not telling people don't go to church. I'm not saying anything that's not true. And as you can tell from the book and from other people's testimonies, that I'm not lying because other people have similar or the same testimony. I was there long enough to know what ain't and what ain't true. And if it wasn't true, I would not be here saying that it's true. I have no reason to lie. I have nothing against the family. I have nothing against the lad. I have nothing against the father. I just want folks to be okay. I want folks to know that God is real. He still loves you, and it's gonna be okay. And we're gonna get some healing when it's all said and done at the end of the day. Because people are out here hurting.
Yeah.
Like literally hurting. And it breaks my heart for them because they're hurting. Now, I can fist fight all day long, but it's not going to take away folks' internal pain because they have to wake up with it every day. And some folks are literally so scarred and damaged in the mind, they don't know what to believe. Because now we have to question every single thing we ever was raised with.
Wow.
I have to, for 32 years now, for 32 years, I have to question everything I ever was taught, everything I have to believe. I have to question now 32 years of everything. Literally, 32 years, I have to question everything. So imagine that has to do if you're 18 and now you have to question your whole life at 18, your whole life at 19, your whole life at 20, 21, 27. You've just been scanned for demons and you have to question this stuff. That your whole God.
I still don't understand the whole scan for demons.
Okay.
I still don't understand that. I still don't understand how and it's one person was in charge of that?
Actually, it started from one individual. It started from a minister in the church, a member of the church. She's a minister. And she had been there for 30 plus 40 years. She came in the 60s, I believe. And she's just, I call it old battle act because that's what she was. She was a very mean person. Like it was a woman. She was I could name her. I'm not going to give her name, but I know exactly who she is. And if you go back and look at one of my videos, I actually said her name. But I didn't think nothing about it. I just said her name because it came out because I was kind of like pouring out and her name came out. Y'all go look at one of my videos, actually said her name. Actually, you actually posted you shared one of the videos and actually said her name in the video. But I'm not going to say it here because I don't want to get you messed up. But
Okay.
she started it. She went to read one day and said the Lord told her this is what she needs to do is to scan demons. She said one day she got her car and she was riding with the member, and the member got out of her car. And when she got out of the car, she dropped her off. The member got out of the car and she was riding down the street, and a demon appeared to her in her back seat after the member got out and rode with her down the street. Now, why she still was driving the car as a demon was in the back seat, I don't know,
Right.
because I would have rolled out as the car was moving, tuck and roll, tuck and roll. She didn't do that. She kept riding in the car. Now, where the demon disappeared at, I don't know. She left that part out. This is the story that she gave. But after that, she went to read. She went to the church. She went to read. And read has always been scary of like demons and spirits and ghosts. And this is where I think the dementia thing kicked in and he got scary. And her version of it was, or the church's version of it was, that everybody needed to be scanned for demons because people bring spirits. And the lady that she dropped off bought the demon with her and left it in the car. So after that, everybody needs to be screened before entering even into the building. You can come in the gate, but you just can't come into the church. So she had to take her hand and scan you with her hand because in her hand she had, demon power, so she could scan the demon out and
What?
bring it out.
This is
Yeah, I don't know, girl. It sounds stupid as hell, but she's in
and
her
nobody
brain.
questioned it. Nobody said, you know what, Pastor, I don't know about this.
Oh,
Nobody
people,
said
remember that part where I said people didn't question him? That part. People didn't question his authority. You question that authority, you were getting put out. That's how strong hold he had on folks. You do not question Reed. That's a no-no. You don't question him at all. What he say is law, and he ran that church and that organization with an iron fist. And to show you how iron fist he had in that organization, he had other pastors in the organization doing it, and he wasn't even there.
oh my goodness.
Different pastors that were in different states were doing it too, and he wasn't even present in the
You're
body.
welcome, Sean 71.
Wasn't even present in the body. Reed wasn't even there, but they were doing it in their own churches because he would have pastors meetings every month. Yes, my husband, ex-husband, was a pastor, and I would be in the pastors meetings with him. That's how I know. And they would implement this in their own churches. And if you were not implementing this whole have someone in your church scan for demons before they enter your church, he would put you out the organization. So every pastor that was in the organization had to do the same exact thing. And the lady would go and scan with her hand over your face, over your hair, like on your phone, in your purse, behind you. Yeah, they go to your house. Then she had other people. They had a team of people. Now I don't know how the team got the scanning spirit or the gift. I don't know how they got it. I'm still trying to figure that part out. I never understood how they got the scanning spirit where they could just automatically in
Right.
their
Like,
hands.
did y'all take? I'm like, did they take a class? Did the Lord tell them like, okay, he's gonna
I,
be in this?
I don't know what the qualifications was or how you got on the team because nobody yet has told me or anybody from the actual demon squad team. That's what I call the demon squad. I don't know how you got that gift because nobody on the demon squad that I know of are still in church. So obviously they must have the demons themselves because obviously it worked for them that I know of. They're all doing whatever they want to do. So obviously they must have had the demons. But they would all have this, I guess, some super duper scanning hand where they would scan over you from head to toe with their hands, their own hands. There was no wand, there was no oil, their basic hand, and they would scan over you head to toe with their hand. And if they feel heat, you had demons.
Mm.
Yes, if you feel heat. I don't care if you was
What
running a fever.
do you feel heat?
Yes, if they feel
What
heat,
if it was
like
the
body heat.
summertime and you just or warm? Or what if
You had demons.
what if you're in the car, you had the heat on? What if you
You
want
had demons.
gloves?
You had demons. Right hand of God. That's what the demon squad in the letter, that was what the person's referring to. That is what they're referring to. The prayer team is the demon squad. So if anybody ever comes from the church and you hear people call it the prayer team is AKA the demon squad. That is what they do. Because if they found demons on you or they detected demons on you, they would take you from like behind the sanctuary. You had to you could not go in the building. Like absolutely not go in the building. Like they would take
You just standing outside waiting to go into.
I don't care if it was 50 below zero outside. You're not going in that church. And they would start questioning you. Like the first question they're always going to ask you, were you talking about the pastor?
What?
What have you been doing?
Mm.
What have you been sinning? Were you talking about the pastor? That's the first question they're going to ask you off the bat. Were you talking about the pastor? Then it's going to be, what have you been doing? Now, these are lay members. These are not other pastors. These are not other ministers. These are lay members who are just like you, who's probably out here doing some everything. And they was. But that's what they would ask you. And then they would pray over you and pour, or if you were cussing, or if you was, pardon my French, having oral sex, I was going to say sucking a dick or eating vagina, but I'm going to just say oral sex with your spouse or something, they would literally
Wait a
take
minute,
the
that's
olive
your
oil.
spouse. Why are they worried about that?
It's considered a sin. It's considered a sin. And
what scripture said that it? That's sin.
I'm looking for it, girl. I've been looking for it since forever, and I couldn't find it. But apparently it's in there in their world. It's in there. But if you were doing that with your spouse, they would ask you, because I was asked. That's how I know. They say nothing that I haven't experienced. This is something I've experienced. They literally ask you this stuff. And if you tell them yes, they take the olive oil, pure olive oil, that they pray over, and they pour it down your throat.
What?
Literally.
Wait, what?
Yes, it was done to me. That's how I know. These are experiences that I've had. This is how I can verify that what's in the letter is actually true. Things that's in that book is not lying. These people are not fabricating this stuff. This is real deal, Holyfield. Please go buy the book because y'all are not going to believe some of the stuff that we have to endure because these are facts. Literally, I've had olive oil poured down my throat for cussing. I've had olive oil poured down my throat for stupid shit. Whatever you do, yeah, cussing, like normal cussing.
I heard of washing someone's mouth out with soap, but
yes,
olive oil?
Yes, olive oil. Like because you know when you go to church and they take that oil and they pray over it, olive oil, yes. And people pour it down your throat. Tell them they're supposed to purify you. They go to your house and they pour oil on your walls and on all your stuff because they still demons on it. It's heat, like your electronics or your bed. They make you get rid of pictures. Like say you have family pictures of your lineages, of your heritage, and stuff like that. If they feel it got demons on it, oh, it's got to go. They throw it right out your house, like into the yard, or they pour oil on it and ruin it. You know how hard it is to get oil out of walls if you can? Yeah, they make you throw away pictures. Your kids got to go out your house if they feel they have demons. They did tell my sister she had her kids couldn't stay in her house because they had demons. Yeah, they did
what do you mean her kids couldn't stay in the house?
Told her children could not stay. Her teenagers could not stay in her home.
What are teenagers supposed to go?
They don't care. She just has to get rid of them. And she wasn't the only one they told that. A lot of other families were broken up that way too. I've seen one as young as 6 be told they had demons and they couldn't get them off of them. They had to leave the home. Now where she took her son, I don't know.
Fix it.
But yeah, he wasn't at that house no more. I said, tell y'all that much.
Sean
yeah,
said,
that's how a lot
you're not damned. I know you felt that way, but you're not.
You're not damned, baby.
Not.
You're not damned. That's not how that works. But a lot of folks feel that way. You're not damned. No. That's not how that works, baby. But yeah, I've seen them do that. They literally, as a team, they went to different churches in the organization, went in their churches, and literally walked through their sanctuary and was like, "Oh, this pew got demons in it. Who've been sitting in this? Who've been sitting in this pew?"
What?
And they have them go and get whoever sat in that pew and have them come to the church. And if they can't get the demons off the person who was sitting in that pew, child, when I tell y'all, cultish cult, it was. Now, being in it at that time, you don't see it, but when you leave it, you see it. Because people have been telling us for years, it's cultish. Y'all are a cult. Y'all are weird. And we didn't see it. We didn't see it. We were like, no, we're not. Y'all just going to hell. Y'all just don't believe that holiness is right. That is our motto. And if you talk to anybody from that church now, they have that same mindset. We're just holy and y'all just want to go to hell. Y'all just want to do whatever it is y'all want to do. No, that's not the case. Y'all just don't love God. Y'all just don't want the Lord. Y'all want to do what y'all want to do. The ones that just, it kills me because they damage so many people by saying that. Because that was never the case. There were so many people that love God and want to do right and was doing work in the church for the purpose of edifying the Lord's work. And they were spiritually damaged and killed behind it, financially messed up because people were giving money and giving what they had. And it was just like it was never enough. And we weren't giving it where people were giving it from their heart. They weren't being malicious. They weren't being, people weren't feel like they were forced. They was giving it because that was what they felt that God told them to do, and people were taking advantage of it. The church was taking advantage of that, and taking advantage of the people. This is the things that are happening in the Black church, and doesn't get a lot of leeway, and a lot of people don't want to deal with it and they want to confront it because they feel, oh, we're going against, the church, or that's the man of God, or that's the woman of God. When did that become godly? When did that become anointing? That's not anointing if it's wrong. If the Bible say it's wrong just because a person say, I've been called. We weren't there when you got called, so I can only verify that through your work and how you are in your actions. Now, if your actions contradict what this Bible got to say and what the word say, you're not anointed, nor is you called. I have to go against you, regardless if I like you or not. I can love you all day long. And to be honest, we all loved Reed. We all did. Some of us loved him more than any of that. But my love for you cannot ride over my love for God. It just can't. We all held that man higher than God. We all did. And people want to lie and say, no, we didn't. Yes, we did. Everybody did. People were doing testimony service, give more glory to Reed than they did to Jesus. Literally. People was literally, I thank God for you, Bishop. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be thanking God for what he did for you, not thanking God for just your whole testimony is thanking God for Bishop. It ain't thanking God for what he did for you and what he brought you through. You just got out of jail and you thinking Bishop? But didn't the Lord set you free? Wait a minute, hold on. I'm just saying. It makes sense to me, maybe nobody else. It's just things that just did not make sense. And when God started opening my eyes to what the deal was, and I started asking questions, that's when I got excommunicated. And then here came a whole list of lies and top of lies on top of lies. And once you leave, they will damage you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Vita V. Hey, Nappy Yankee. Vita V, I don't know if you saw my title. Vita V is not from Texas. I'm from Texas. She's talking about I read a letter from a survivor who was a part of her church, aka cult. And so she was just corroborating some of the things that happened the person said in that letter. So you'll have to go for the replay. But before that, before Vita came on, I went over some details about the shooting. Oh, that question was for me? Okay. And then then I read the letter before then. Uvalde is like 4.5 hours west of me. of Houston. So San Antonio is 3 hours west of me, and then Uvalde is like an hour and a half west of San Antonio. So it's a really small town, but it's still like, it's still, yeah, deep. It's just because now I read it was 18 dead, 18 children dead and one teacher. So it's just like, okay. We had a secure lockdown. I was telling them we had a secure lockdown at my school 2 weeks ago because there was a shooting in the area, and they were scared that the person may come to the school, to blend in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I had some place to go, so they wouldn't have. Yep.
So we had a secure lockdown. No one could leave. I had to lock my door, cover my window. Lights out. Kids are quiet because we don't want anyone thinking that we're in there. Need to block the door if need be. Grab kids out of the hallway, can't move. There were parents outside picking their kids up. They couldn't come into the building because we're in secure lockdown mode. And then we had to wait to get the all clear. The school police was there, and then I guess they talked to the CISD police. So eventually, after about, I want to say 30, 40 minutes, we were given the all clear. So, but yeah. We've had to have like secure lockdown, shooting drills, fire drills because of stuff like this. So, but yeah, it's been, Lord, it's just Tuesday. But
Sean 71. Honey, a lot of people feel that they were damned for leaving that church. And I felt that way too.
mm-hmm.
I did, and so many people feel that way. And I just want to tell you that the road to heaven doesn't mean you have to stop at that doorstep. You're going to be all right. And something when I tell you, there's so many places else you can go. Know God for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And let him lead you where you need to go. Because I'm telling you, the Holy Ghost been gone. I'm going to tell you that, honey. The Holy Ghost been gone. And you see what's going over there now, right now. That it was probably the Lord already breaking you away from over there. All the mess that went on over there. So many people are damaged to their core. So please don't feel like you're damned from not being from over there. I just needed to tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the chat now, but don't feel like that because there's so many people that felt like I had a few sitting on my couch crying tears because they felt that nobody loved them and that they were done for and that they might just give up on life because that was their home. Really, that was their home, and it was all they knew, all they had. And their own parents had threw them out because the demon squad had told their parents that there were demons on them and they could not live there no more. And they had nowhere to go.
Oh, Jesus, fix it. Jesus.
So they sat on my couch crying. Literally, I had people kids, sitting on my couch crying because they said didn't nobody love it. They had nowhere to go. And I don't believe in throwing nobody's kids out. I've known people's kids since they were babies. And I'm not going to turn nobody's kid away. Because somebody ignorant was like, you can't come in no more. No. So don't ever feel that God threw you away because folks is ignorant. And they don't understand what true godly love is. Because love won't turn nobody away like that. Even when everybody else will turn, God will love you regardless. He ain't never left you. Okay, Sean? Always remember that God, when everybody else will walk, God will still be there. So you hold on. Please hold on. Because folks literally, y'all like for real, for the ones who don't understand the damage and the mind break This place broke folks. This place broke folks. Kids, young adults, middle-aged adults, old adults. It broke folks, y'all. It literally was a cult.
Mm-hmm.
People literally, folks, considered suicide. And unfortunately, we had a few that literally did commit suicide behind it.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
No lie. Right hand of Jesus, I will stand on Judgment Day with a full conscience with this. And if I ever leave this world, I will go out standing, knowing I tried to help as many folks that I could, because this is how bad it was. People say, was it all bad? No, because when we was in it, it didn't seem like it was all that bad. The painting was painted. When we was in it, it was painted different. But when you come from behind it and you see for what it is, it was damaging to our mental. It was damaging to our spiritual. It was damaging to our emotional, our whole emotional well-being. And it fractured who we were as people. And now we have to pick it up and refracture our lives. A lot of the people that were married at 15, 16, 17 years of age, had babies young, their bodies are messed up now. People having babies young like that, because a lot of people that got married young and stuff, they're divorced now and broken families and stuff. Kids who could have went to college didn't go to college because they got married and had babies, having 3 or 4 kids before you're 21, because you got married at 16, 17, 18 years old. Like, you don't know what it feels like to go out to help go to college or hang out with your friends, because once you're married, you can't be hanging out with no single people. You got to hang out with married people. But then you can't really hang out with married people because you're supposed to be at home with your husband. See how that kind of leads out?
Yeah.
They kind of put you in a little box and stuff, you know? So you don't have the experience that, what it feels to go to the mall, because we had to stop going to the mall. We had to stop going to Target, you know? You aged. They aged us. We walking around looking like old Manny. Long skirts, hair in a French roll. Who had a French roll at 16? We did.
Okay, now, I wasn't part of a cult, but I had a French roll. Come on now.
But you weren't wearing no skirt that dragged the flow with a blouse and shoulder pads neither.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't have that.
I'm telling you, we didn't have, the only time we got to spend time with family was on the 1 week we had for Thanksgiving. We had 1 week at a church where you couldn't go to church for a whole week, and that was the week of Thanksgiving. Other than that, you was in church.
What about Christmas?
And then Thanksgiving, you had 1 week.
Oh, wow.
And that was the week you had a time to spend with your family.
What about spring break?
No, it wasn't no spring break. Nope. What is that? We had no spring break. There wasn't no Christmas break. There wasn't no summer break. There was none of that. It was that 1 week in Thanksgiving that you had time to spend with your family, and that was it. People went to paint a picture that people went on vacations. That was a straight up lie. Only maybe certain ones went, and that was if you were a part of that special clique crew, because there is a clique crew, and certain people in the church could do basically anything they wanted to do and still be able to come back. Like, they could go sin and come back in the church. That was a clique crew. Everybody has that clique. They just do basically what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, in the church, a lot of churches have that in crowd, that ones that's super close to the bishop or the pastor or the apostle, whatever y'all want to call y'all right hand man. They can do what they want to do and still, come to church and sing in the choir and, do what they want to do. But everybody else had to be under strict, law. You had to be holy. Being holy became so much of a thing. It was running people nuts, like breaking people mentally down. Like, no one's going to actually achieve the level of holiness we were trying to achieve. All you can do is your best. And it was just kind of made believe that our best wasn't good enough even for God when people were put out with the demons. he had folks telling people's business, and people were just saying folks got demons just to know your business. Like
Bishop 3.
right, right. These people was having kids out of wedlock that was on the demon squad. Like, wait a minute, shouldn't you be over here with me? Like, you supposed to be searching for demons, but you out here fornicating. Wait a minute.
Lord, yeah.
Your demon skills is messed up.
That are allowed for some people because it's about who they know, but then for the rest of us, it's like, no, you can't.
Right. It's strenuous thing. Like, I'm like cracking. I'm saying in a joking way that I'm very, very, very serious as a heart attack.
Okay. Well, Vita B, go ahead.
Oh no, I am actually. I'm gonna pop up off of here and go in here and make me something to eat and watch the movie with my sister.
Yeah, so I didn't want to keep you long, and I know I have to get ready for tomorrow. I know we could probably keep talking for like another hour, but I think we better.
No, I'm gonna go in here and get me something to eat. My stomach is touching my back, girl. I'm hungry.
Girl, you remind me.
My stomach's speaking in tongues, girl.
My stomach is touching my back. You done brought memories back, girl. Good memories.
I just want to thank you for continuing to cover this story because I really thought that people were just not going to really pay attention to this story. When I outed it on TikTok, I didn't think nobody would cover it. I didn't think it would get because I first outed it on TikTok, as you know, and then I asked you, and I thank you for covering this.
You're very welcome because this needs to be addressed. That there are people, as far as I'm concerned, if this, the leader of this church or this cult is masquerading to me as a man of God, and for me, that's a fraud. And then, like you said, all these rules and all these things that they're doing, I'm thinking like this is something Matt Churchill said earlier. Is like the Jesus that I serve in the Bible is different from the one that these people are saying that they represent.
Exactly.
And so that's what I want to say for Sean 71. Like, God loves you. We love you. Jesus tells us to love you. But the way they were treating you is not what Jesus wanted or God wanted.
Right.
Fortunately, they use, God as a manipulation for themselves, not for actually God.
Right.
Yeah. Because there's another cult, which I don't know if you've seen my other video, but this guy named Nature Boy. He calls himself 3 God. And he's always interjecting Bible verses. And I'm thinking like, wait a minute, my God can break every chain. 3 God is in jail. He cannot break them chains.
Okay. Or them
my
bars.
God doesn't hit me or beat me or tell other people to do that. But he's on lives, on video, doing that.
Right.
Why would your God want to put you in pain?
Right.
No, so we got so many people out here.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, I am going to get off of here. And like
all right. Well, thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you guys in the chat that is very supportive, that's keeping up with this. I appreciate you guys and everything out there in the world who's watching the replay. Thank you guys for keeping up with this. And please continue to sign the change petition. As many signatures we can get, please go out and support Maurice McClain's book, Divorcing the Cult, and things. I will be in the next one if he does the next one, because my story isn't in this book. But I will be in the next one if he makes the next one. Because he did ask me to be in this one. But
wait, when are you going to be back?
Huh?
When did you say you're going to be in the next what?
If he does a new book, I will be in the next one. Unfortunately, I was working so much, I was not able to get my letter in time for this book. I had it written, but I was working my behind off. I work.
Yeah.
So if he does a new book, I will be in the next one. It's already prepared.
Okay, we'll definitely share it, and we'll probably have you back or Maurice back.
Right. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys later.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good night. Good night.
All right. Bye. All right, y'all. This is the petition. If you haven't signed it, please sign and share. You're welcome, Sean 71. And Sean 71, if you ever want to come up here and tell your story or share your story, you definitely can. Here's my email address. 3@gmail.com. Okay, there you go. Thank you so much, Sean71, Uwakata, Nappy Yankee, Josephine the Fundamentals, She Nurses, Sharon T. Leonard, Holmes Erica, D. Jones, Saint Hudson, Sexy Toy Lady, Vita V, TMK Media, thanks for stopping by. Who else is here? Oh dear. Holmes Erica, D. Jones, Wakata, Dr. J. Kelly. Gotta go tag him. Like, Dr. J. Kelly, I thought talking about the shooting. Christine Parks, ACOJ Welling Women Ministry, Mrs. Murph. Thank you so much for being here. Clark, thank you so much. Those of you who are in the bushes and those of you who are going to watch on the replay, thank you so much. And if you like to support the channel, please, you can cash out LMSY transcript, or you can send a cash app. Also, there's a new feature on the videos now for replay. There is a thanks button, and that's another way you can send a super chat if you wish. You're not forced to. It's just a way to help me bring you this programming, because I gotta pay for the StreamYard, gotta pay for the Capwing, gotta pay for Canva, and what's the other one I use? Vista Create. Boy wants snacks, so he'll leave me alone while I'm alive. Right now, I must have tucked him out. Right now, he's over on the couch asleep. He's snoring a little bit. So, but definitely like, share, subscribe. If I get any more updates on this Texas school shooting, I will definitely come back tomorrow. Also, join me over there on my friend Daryl Moore's channel. So let me put the link in here. I don't know if some of you saw my video from yesterday where I asked a former supporter
in the middle of the night,
to please stop commenting about the situation. And I was trying to help. And yeah, I didn't do. They just left it alone, falling off deaf ears, I guess. So Daryl said, join me in the chat tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on Daryl Moore's channel. So make sure you grab your favorite drink, favorite snack, because Daryl Moore is bringing it. That's our friend. All right. Okay, y'all. Talk to y'all later. Thank y'all so much for being here. Bye. Okay. Oh, also, if Safehouse Unmuzzled goes live on Thursday, I will stream that as well. So, okay. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.